second episode of Going Mental with Andrew Dickinson and Kristy Mounsey.
Hi.
We're here today to talk about recovery. Recovery in mental health does not mean cure. I'm going to get Andrew to read for us the definition of recovery from the 2010 National Mental Health Standards.
This is the book, and the page is, where's the page? No, that's not it. There it is. Oh yes, that is it. Okay. Recovery, a deeply personal, unique process of changing one's attitudes, values, feelings, goals, skills and/or roles. It is a way of living a satisfying, hopeful and contributing life. Recovery involves the development of new meaning and purpose in one's life as one grows beyond the catastrophic effects of psychiatric disability.
Thank you, Andrew. To me, recovery in mental health means living the best life I can live with or without symptoms of my mental illness.
Recovery for me means a probably bumpy journey, but a journey towards improvement, given that the conditions that we have, the bipolar is not a curable condition. It's what's called an episodic illness, which means that there are times when you don't function and you go back towards something, I hesitate to use the word normal, but something towards proper functioning. That's what I would think is recovery.
I've come to accept that there's some symptoms of my illness that won't ever go away. For example, as long as I stay on this medication, I will be drowsy. In the mornings, I am not a morning person of a normal.
Nor am I.
But I'm especially not a morning person on my medication. I can literally sleep to 12 o'clock every day. But I try not to do that. But it also means living with a little bit of anxiety and being okay with that. It hasn't stopped me getting engaged. It has made it harder to get work because of discrimination and stigma, which we'll talk about in other episodes. But overall, I think that I live a wonderful life while living with my mental illness.
And I live a very good life. I think that life is great. I was diagnosed about 10 years ago. I found the right medication within a month. And I've been stable ever since. The difference is the difference between night and day. I'm stressed a little bit sometimes, but I'm not stressed almost all the time as I used to be. I'm in a state of peace, and it's just wonderful. Nothing can substitute for that.
So if you're very sick at the moment, we want you to know that you can get better. That
improvement is possible.
Yep.
It is even probable.
Yeah, well, with bipolar you can't stay down forever, but with
Yes.
any mental illness you can live a meaningful, contributing life while your illness may still cause you some limitations and some problems. It's like living with diabetes and the fact that it's manageable but not curable.
That's right, manageable but not curable. I'll put that. I couldn't have put it better myself.
I've got a question for Andrew.
Yes.
What do you think is the most important part of your recovery journey? It can be a tool you've used, it can be anything.
Something that I use, well, I'd say medication, truly. I couldn't get by without it. As someone who's majored in psychology, you're pretty much told that psychiatry and drugs are the enemy. Well, I had to eventually admit through my diagnosis that medication was the way, the basis of my recovery. It wouldn't have happened otherwise.
For myself, I would say the most important thing in my recovery journey is my support network. That's my parents, my fiance Frank, my friends and my extended family. They all have different functions in my recovery, but they all play a role. And it was because I had a lot of family support that I got through the worst times, and that I'm now living one of the best times of my life.
Well, I would say that I'm in my 50s now. I think that this is the best time of my life as well. For another reason, having great friends. Kristy is my dearest friend, and she is mine. She's been quite a considerable support as well.
I try to be, and Andrew's been a great support for me. He took me to Ride Bipolar support group when I had a relapse, and that group was very important to me as well.
As it has been for me too.
So, and some of the things that have come out of my mental illness that have been really positive are the friendships I've made with other consumers. So it's not all doom and gloom.
A lot of it's very positive, I think. And in another talk we'll be talking about could we do without bipolar? Would we be the same people without bipolar? And we'll have plenty to say on that. So.
Okay. I think this wraps it up for this issue, except to ask you to contribute to the discussion, post what's important to you in your recovery journey or anything like that down in the comments below.
What do you think? What would you like us to talk about? Are there things that we mentioned that you'd like to talk more or less about? Let us know.
Thank you. Bye.